Okay, so today we're diving into something that honestly impacts every single thing we do.
Every single thing.
Yeah, every single thing, and that is self-care.
Self-care, yes.
And we always hear about this, and
Yeah.
like you said, we want to get away from like the
The cliche.
the cliche, yeah, the
Bubble baths,
face masks and all that.
face masks and all that.
Right, exactly. So we're talking about this from like a very fundamental level,
Yeah, the baseline stuff.
the baseline stuff.
The critical systems that are running in the background all the time.
Yes, exactly. And there's so much research that shows
Oh, yeah, tons.
that if we're neglecting these like core basic things, it can actually shrink the part of our brain that's responsible for making decisions.
Yeah, the prefrontal cortex.
The prefrontal cortex by like 19%.
It's a huge amount, yeah.
It's crazy. And on the flip side of that, like if we're prioritizing these things, it can make us like 42% more effective.
Yeah, that's a massive difference.
Right.
I mean, that's almost half.
So in this day and age, where we're constantly on and everything's so,
It's crazy.
fast-paced, and
It's like drinking from a fire hose.
it really is. I mean,
God, oh, yeah.
they say our brains are processing like 10,000% more data
Right?
than previous generations.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So this is really not optional. It's critical.
It really is. It's a necessity, not a luxury anymore.
Right. Yeah.
It's almost like these crucial system updates for our human hardware.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like our human hardware. So we've got to keep our systems updated,
Exactly. And we've looked at, why is there this urgency?
Right.
Why are we talking about this now? And
Yeah.
it's because, like you said, our cortisol levels,
Yeah.
they stay elevated long after
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
this notification goes off,
Yeah.
or we get that dopamine hit of, checking our email or responding to a text message.
Oh my gosh.
And our attention
I
spans,
forget about it.
they've decreased. Yeah.
Significant.
It's like seconds.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's clear that our human hardware is facing like unprecedented demands.
Right. And so to keep this
Running smoothly.
to keep it running optimally, we've got to look at these
Yes.
non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables.
And the first one is what we've called the biological baseline.
Okay. Love it.
And this is sleep, hydration,
Right. You
nutrition. Yeah, you can't bypass this.
can't get around it.
You just can't.
You can't. And I think it's so easy to think, oh, I can,
Push it off.
push it off. I can,
I'll catch up later.
I'll sleep later. I'll.
I'll drink water tomorrow.
Right.
Kinda
I'll
thing.
eat a salad tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you really can't.
You can't because it just compounds over time.
It really does.
It really does. So let's break down that biological baseline a little bit.
Okay.
So sleep.
Yes.
You probably heard of those like 90-minute sleep cycles.
Yes.
And they say like the ones before midnight
Yeah.
are like twice as effective
Yes, they are.
for that deep rest.
Yeah.
So even if you're getting like, your 7 to 8 hours, but it's, later in the night,
You're not getting the same quality sleep.
it's not the same quality.
No.
It's not.
And then hydration.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, just a 3% dip.
just 3%
Yeah.
can lead to a 30%
That's right.
drop in cognitive function.
Cognitive function. Like, what?
Think about that.
I know. It's crazy.
Next time you're reaching for another cup of coffee
It's out of water.
instead of water.
Yeah. I know.
So important.
So important. And then like the food piece.
The nutrition.
Yeah, and like the gut-brain connection.
Oh my gosh.
So important.
No, it's like it's mind-blowing to think that like 90% of our serotonin
Yeah.
is produced in our gut.
That's right.
Like what?
It's wild.
That is wild. So, what we're eating is directly impacting how we feel.
It's not just about energy. It's about mental well-being.
It's about everything.
It's about everything.
It's connected. It's
Totally.
all connected. Yeah.
So, okay, so we've covered the biological baseline.
Right.
The second non-negotiable that we wanted to talk about is what we're calling emotional CPR.
I love that.
Yeah, so this is your daily mental reset.
Your mental reset.
Yeah, and this has 3 parts to it. There's the check-in, there's the
Don't be-
release,
Yeah.
and then there's the recharge.
The recharge.
So the check-in is really just, taking a moment to just kind of name 3 emotions that you're feeling.
Yeah. Just bring awareness.
Awareness. What's
Yeah.
going on inside?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be anything,
Fancy.
fancy or,
Babe. Yeah.
yeah, just what are 3 emotions I'm feeling right now?
That's it. And what's fascinating is that,
Yeah.
we don't always do that. We don't always take that time to check in.
Right.
And so then we have all this, pent up stress and emotion in our bodies.
Yeah.
And so that release
Yeah.
is so important.
I love that.
Finding a physical way to release, whether it's a quick shake or a dance or, anything.
Like shaking your hands out?
Yeah, like literally just shaking it off
Yeah.
can make a real difference because unprocessed emotions.
Oh, they tax.
They tax your nervous system.
It's like carrying around baggage.
It really is.
Yeah.
So we got to release that baggage.
We got to release it. And then the final part of this emotional CPR is the recharge.
Yes.
And this is really just, taking a 20-minute walk.
Without headphones.
Without headphones.
Just you and your thoughts.
Just you and your thoughts, letting your mind
decompress. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Okay, so we've covered the biological baseline.
Yeah.
We've covered emotional CPR.
Right.
Now we're moving into our third non-negotiable.
And this one is all about our constant connectivity.
Digital detoxification.
Digital detoxification, yes.
I love it.
So this is about creating conscious breaks from the digital world.
The digital world, we're so plugged in.
All the time.
All the time.
So even implementing notification fasts for, 2 hours at a time.
Even just 2 hours.
Yeah, can significantly reduce
that pull.
That constant pull on your attention,
Yeah.
and it allows you to just refocus.
Refocus, yeah.
And be more present.
Yes.
In what you're doing.
And I think also something that's really interesting with this is like balancing our consumption with creation.
Oh, that's huge. Yes.
So, if we're spending an hour scrolling,
right.
Can we try and spend an hour creating?
Yeah, anything.
Anything. Doesn't matter what it is.
Doesn't matter, just something where you're shifting that focus and energy.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, of course, we can't forget about those blue light curfews.
Yes, 2 hours before bed.
2 hours before bed.
Powering down the screens.
It's essential.
It's essential for quality sleep.
And the crazy thing is, like...
What's the stat?
The average person spends, 7 years.
7 years?
On social media.
Wow.
Like, imagine if we could reclaim even a fraction of that time and put it towards something else.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
It is.
Okay, so now, for those of you listening who are like,
yeah,
I don't have time for all of this.
Right, I barely have time to breathe.
Right, exactly. Like, how am I going to fit this in?
Well, there are what we like to call 1% solutions.
Okay, I like that.
So these are tiny little micro adjustments that can make a huge difference. So for example, a micro nap.
Micro naps.
90 seconds.
90 seconds.
Yeah, you can get a surprising reset in just 90 seconds.
Wow.
Or how about instead of reaching for that coffee first thing in the morning, have a glass of water.
Water first.
Yeah.
Water first.
Okay, I like that.
Hydrate. And then
caffeinate.
And then caffeinate.
Okay.
Or how about if you have a commute?
Yeah.
Instead of listening to something or scrolling.
Yeah.
Just sit in silence.
Silence.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we need more silence.
We do.
I know. We need more.
So it's really not about adding
more to our to-do list yet.
More tasks.
Right. It's not about adding more things to do. It's about approaching
the things we're already doing in a different way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so to kind of put this all together, we've come up with a little challenge.
A little challenge.
A 7-day lifeline challenge.
I love it.
So we're challenging you, our listeners, to pick one non-negotiable.
From each category.
From each of the 3 categories. So one from the biological baseline, one from emotional CPR, and one from digital detox.
That's it.
And to implement it at a very minimum level.
Or the bare minimum.
So, maybe it's just 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just, a 10-minute silent walk.
Exactly.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just the bare minimum. And then the key here is to track how you feel.
Yes. Notice any shifts.
Any shift.
In your mood.
Your energy.
Your productivity.
Yeah. What small changes.
What tiny little 1% changes.
Yeah.
Yield the biggest impact for you.
Yes. And remember, at the end of the day, you can't pour from an empty cup.
That's right.
You can't set yourself on fire to keep others warm.
Yeah.
The most powerful thing you will ever do
is to choose yourself.
That's
it.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
That's awesome. Thanks for being here.
This was fun.
This was great. I love diving into this stuff.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you later.
Bye.